Hi.
Robert.
Always with the Robert. Well, hello.
Well, it's better than saying I have warm balls in my mouth, okay?
What the fuck?
And you said that one anyway. Well, okay.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, everyone. We hope you missed us.
Why would anybody miss me?
We are back once more to 20-Sided Archives. We had taken a week off to have a bit of a vacation for some of us and take care of some things for others. But we are back for episode 14
Woo!
of the 20-Sided Archives, chapter 1 of Chronicles of Umaria, which is insane. Last where we had left off, the group, our lovely party here, consisting of Seven, Chisel,
Lovely.
and Redwood, and Shrub. I'm gonna ignore your comment, Brian. Had a rather unfortunate experience with the river, like the knotted rise that traveled between the Winter Expanse and the knotted rise. The mountains rumbled, and in its rumbling, the earth shook. And as a result, ice that had covered a waterfall, acting as a environmental dam to prevent torrents and torrents of mountain water from flooding into the river, had been broken away, and as a result, the river flooded. And our party, our group, were most of them sent under, but through both divine intervention and through the wonderful massive magics and the arcane
And sheer willpower.
and sheer pure willpower, our party was able to make it out to the other side. We come back to our group. Dawn is just breaking. You had all taken time to set up a quick camp and to rest. It is the middle of it's the beginning of the winter season, and yet Umaria is already getting hit. Like, your portion of the world is already getting hit hard with it, and now you're near the mountains, which makes it even colder. Despite one particular member wearing no sleeves.
I don't need sleeves. Sleeves for the week.
Sleeves are for the week. Casey's like, "Wah!" But dawn is breaking. It is cold. You are so close to where you need to be. You just need to travel further north, around through the mountain, to get to where you need to up the mountain, to get to where you need to go to find and check in with Chisel's family.
We'll be coming around the mountain when we come. Anywho, during this downtime, Devin will take once he's all prepared and healed up. We'll just be scouting because I'm sure the others want to, have their rest.
Okay.
Just a good few miles out ahead of us.
Okay. So, I will have you roll a survival, nature, or perception. One of your choice.
Let's do perception. 9.
Starting off big today.
Starting off great.
I shouldn't even roll.
So, With a 9, you go ahead and scout around. You are tired because of the force of the water and your need to survive over anything else. And despite the fact that you have had your rest and everything, it was still a very exhausting experience. So you scout as best as you can in your current state, but you don't really see anything that would be considered bad or of alarm at the moment. But that is that. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Me specifically?
Yes, you specifically.
Well, I guess while he's out here scouting, if he sees a possible game, he'd catch it. Or try to, at least.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me survival.
Same proficiency modifier. 12. Better by 3.
Better by 3.
Or 6. Yeah.
You look around. There's no game here. There isn't even tracks of game in this area. You don't even see a, discarded bird's nest anywhere. The trees, actually, you look up, the trees are, obviously it's winter, so, trees are gonna be barren, but even,
It just sticks in the ground.
even powerful trees that have had bears claw into them in order to mark territory or to strengthen their claws, showed no signs of any new wear.
I imagine he's kneeling on the ground, feeling around the snow, feeling around the trees, and that was expected not to find much, but not nothing.
I expected at least some checklist, not no checklist.
I expected at least some tracks of animals fleeing the north, but no, there's just nothing. Nothing existed here.
It is.
He says to no one in particular.
Yeah, he screams out in the frozen white noise.
You look around. Yeah, there's nothing. You see no tracks. You see no signs. No recent signs. And I think with that, it's kind of putting the pieces. It's not gonna give you much in terms of what it could mean. But you have an idea that they've been gone for they've been gone for a while.
That too.
It's too cold.
We move on from Seven, who will be making his way back to his companions, to Redwood, Trizzle, and Shrub. Redwood, you have Shrub laying on your chest, acting as your own personal heater, because she is your familiar and your companion, and you couldn't get close to the fire, so you just kept her in your arms, even after you were lowered from your levitation.
So, I think because Shrub is not moving away from him, Redwood is laying on his back with Shrub on his chest, while he's trying to trace new lines onto his arm, following where he was feeling that magic connection, trying to take whatever experience he can from that burst of magic and write it into his spell book.
Roll me an Arcana check, please.
If I get my mouse to work, it'd be great.
It's always the mouse.
It's always the mouse.
Oh.
Thanks.
It's okay. You only needed to beat a 5, so you did it.
Oh, good.
you begin.
Shrub is more of a distraction than a helper in this. Like, can you scoot a little lower? I need to reach my elbow.
Shrub is like passed out.
Fuck.
You did use both of her fire things, like both her ignitions, and then had her teleport multiple times, or like fly away. So she is tired.
Chisel, could you like reach around the back of my forearm?
Chisel is asleep.
Why am I alone?
Brian like glanced up at me and was like, "You do realize that my character's asleep, right?"
Like,
Because
I
he
was the
can't like
first
look around at the
one.
camp because of Shrub laying on his chest. I think he calls out for Chisel a couple of times and gets no response. Like, well, I'm just here, fucked on the ground, aren't I? I will fix that in the morning.
Like,
Eventually,
Chisel was the first one to fall asleep and is the heaviest sleeper of the group.
yeah. Chisel literally landed on his ass off the riverbank after being flown out from a prayer that he did purely out of the need to survive. And then immediately after he saw that you guys were okay, fell over and passed out.
He's also the only one here that needs 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, he is
But
the
he
only.
gets more than that.
I think he's just lazy.
Turns out halflings. Turns like how halflings can also only need to sleep for 4 hours, but instead they have to sleep for 8 now because of Chisel.
Not my
I
And
problem.
then
don't know
they
what
have
Chisel's
10
problem
meals
is.
in the
Me
waking
and
days.
Bevan only need 4 hours. This dudes are out the whole night. Honestly, it's wasteful.
Bro.
Okay, I'm going to leave.
In his sleep, fed up with Redwood's chatter, Chisel just sleepwalks away into the snow.
Better come back as an elf, boy.
Thankfully, my backup character is an elf.
But
And her snowbake comes out now.
But I think Redwood like can't quite finish the tattoo, so he gets what he can reach, and I think he just lays there in the snow, contemplates a little, and tries to get to sleep.
Honestly, it's not
Again?
snow anymore, it's slush.
it is the morning. So
So
are
what am I supposed to do? I'm
Fair
being slept on.
you are currently an animal's pillow, that is true. I think as you're trying to get to sleep, you do feel Shrub begin to stretch. Like, she begins to stir, and then she does the classic, like, cat stretch arch thing.
The big stretch.
And like,
Close.
presses, like, in, like, her little paws into your chest. It's like...
Shrub, that's my throat.
Huh?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. And she hops off of you.
Oh, okay. I guess we're moving now.
Where's Devin?
Shrub, we're next to a forest. Where the fuck do you think he is?
I mean... Grub gives you, like, the most upset and offended look you've ever seen a fox give you. Like, it is literally... You don't even know how. It's like Disney animated, like... Drop of the shoulders, like...
Yeah.
So why would you out with a plan to make a stand to the
Thank you.
Right.
Like, full-on drop of the shoulders, just like, come on.
I love you, Aletta, but you can't ask stupid questions without getting stupid answers.
I think Shrub looks to you and for a moment is like,
Oh god, I'm mute.
what happened after the troll incident?
What do you mean?
Your attitude changed. You fell unconscious. Everyone did everything they could to help you, and but when you got up, you were angry.
Well,
since you're the only one awake, and since you're the person I can trust,
A fox, but
I
okay.
got to speak to Ichthys. Ichthys? Ichthys?
Ithis.
Ichthys.
It's been a hot minute. You spoke to
Good
Ithis.
book.
What did she say? What did she look like? Was she pretty?
She was very pretty.
Very pretty for a wolf.
Oh.
And basically, after getting my ass thoroughly kicked, she gave me a whole spiel on how everything I think about fire is wrong, and I should be more prepared. And being told I'm not prepared is just incredibly rude. But unfortunately, on that aspect, she's right.
And that's
We
what
have been running after this pack of deer without being able to catch up and tracing this trail of undeath without ever being able to reach any actual points. We're just cleaning up a mess.
So you're mad that she's right. Right?
I'm mad that she's right, and I'm mad that she told me I'm wrong on the one thing I thought I was right on. And also, having your shit kicked in and beaten the fuck out of, and then being told this speech is very bad timing.
Well,
And so I got to wake up with mixed emotions, a befuddled head, a ripped arm, and a broken rib. And then we got washed in a river.
Rub takes a moment to like properly assess what she should say next in a way that won't make you angry. And you can tell plain as day that she does not want to piss you off because she loves you. But she also understands that what she's about to say next is probably something that you need to hear.
I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted with what someone else is doing.
There's a dog on one of our friends' cameras right now, and he's moving around, and he's a good boy.
I've been dying.
But he looks to you and goes, I know I don't always ask this, but can I be honest? Like, bluntly?
You don't have to ask that.
I know, but I also don't want to get kicked like a ball or whatever. A sphere? A rock.
I am more likely to punt Chisel than you.
What?
That makes me feel...
Chisel wakes up. What?
Yeah, Chisel, you wake up to hear this statement, just like, huh? What the fuck?
Just, huh?
Go back to sleep.
Oh.
You instantly pass back out. Shrub looks to you and goes, I think this is a lot bigger than we're realizing. It's a lot more dangerous than what we're used to. And that's scary. But sometimes there are things on the food chain that you don't realize they're there until they're right in front of your face. as daunting as it is unfortunately something that you have to accept. And you can fight, or you can run. Ithis, I think, is one of those things that's really high on the food chain. Like, she's a bear, and you're just an ant. And I'm not saying that in a way to be demeaning. I am simply saying that as a way to compare. But you see Shrub looks down, like kind of tilts her head for a second and goes, Ithis... I think Ithis saw that as an opportunity to teach you and show you potentially that you were wrong. And while I do think that she probably maybe went about it in a wrong way, she meant well. I don't think she was trying to upset you. I think she was just trying to show you where the mistakes in your thinking are. She is the goddess of primordial fire. And not much is known about her, as far as we have been told. No one really understands her and her domain at all, except you. And the one person who understood her domain, technically at the same time, didn't. And she just, wanted you to remember. You have a very powerful connection to it. And I don't think sometimes you realize that. Or sometimes you do, but it scares you because we're so used to seeing fire as destructive that you don't also see it as a way to heal. And I know that your past is to blame for that. But I think it's time that maybe you understand that not all the things that we see as dangerous are dangerous. People...
What if we're wrong?
And we're wrong. Sometimes you just have to hope that there's the right person guiding you through it. I don't think getting mad is the right way to respond. But I also don't think that not feeling anything at all about it is a good way to respond either. Your emotions are valid. I'm not saying they're not. But it's very clear that Ithis cares about you. Otherwise, she wouldn't have said anything in the first place. You are her one anchor that we know exists to this world. And that makes you special, whether you like to think so or not.
Why is the most coherent thing you have to say be the one thing against me? I appreciate you bringing order, but 20 minutes ago you were shoving your front paws into my neck.
It was comfy! It was comfy! And you were warm, and I was cold. And I'm a firefox. I'm not supposed to be cold!
I wasn't cold.
I turned white. How's that supposed to happen?
That's happened multiple times.
It's not fun.
You're right. You're right. do need to put more thought into how I interact with what I'm given. And I do need to stop jumping around it so much, but that's not an easy fix. But the biggest thing we can do right now is be prepared. Quit running in full force and hoping things come up for the better, because they haven't. You've been in danger, I've been in danger, Theven, the resilient fuckhead he is, he's also been on the brink of death.
Yeah.
I like how you just passed over.
You have not been in danger.
The only time I was close to danger was when I was drowning.
It was literally like nearly 8 hours ago.
I was 2 death saving throws in from gone.
At least you got a chance on having death saving throws. I wouldn't have.
Don't hope and pray that I'm going to knock you to the point that you're going to nearly die. Don't hope for that, because you don't want that.
No, I don't want that, because that would mean I took 71 HP in like 3 hits.
Regardless, we
Shrub.
need to stop and we need to make plans and decide what we're going to do. And I feel like I'm the only person thinking about that.
Well, is that something that you communicated to the others? Or is that just something that you assumed?
I tried. After we had got knocked down the cave, I may have been angry, but I did try to bring that up.
I think
I need to bring something to the table rather than just poking.
we're heading to the mountains. We are visiting Chisel's family. I think once Steven gets back, we can have a proper sit and sort of discuss expectations for the future and talk about how communicating is a little bit more important than we think it is. She puts a paw on your leg, kind of like the same way a person would put a hand on your shoulder, but she's small. And goes, there are plenty of people who care about you. And I know you've been running for a very long time. But I think it's time you stopped running. Even if you don't like the fact that I'm saying this. She just kind of bumps her head, the flat of her head, against your chest. But you always have me to have your back. So. And those 2 idiots, even if you don't like to admit it.
Well, perhaps one of the idiots should wake up again.
I got it.
I know you've been awake this whole time.
Chisel, roll me a performance check to see if you can make it seem like that you're actually asleep still and not awake like you have been.
Oh, I gotta lean in because all the text is tiny. You said performance, correct?
Correct. 14.
Honestly, for a +1, that's not bad.
That's not bad. Roll
16 insight.
Ah! Pat.
Very cute.
Chisel, there's something about the way that your breathing isn't exactly even enough, and you're just like, I think you're listening to Shrub and her speaking, and just being like, that's both really sweet and also kind of depressing, but also super true. It's just like a moment where you're just like, I think it also hits a little bit home for you too, Chisel. And I think in that moment, you're just like, oh. And I think that's what gives you away.
I'm very tense for someone who's asleep.
You're very tense for someone who is supposed to be unconscious right now. But I think this is also would be the perfect time to reintroduce Seven, who has finally returned from the barren woodlands of the C.o.U range.
Yeah, we're no
I feel
longer
like that's
not
the
as
first thing he
right.
said.
But you arrive, you see that Redwood is awake. There is a fox who has her head pressed against his chest and a comforting gesture, and then a tense chisel. Roll me an insight check.
Oh, me?
Yes.
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 Apologies.
You're coming into the scene.
I just got
Your
a
vibe
million
checking.
things dropped on my plate at once, so apologies. And it said insight?
Yes. 12.
I'm asleep to him.
Oh yeah, that would be true. You look at Chisel and you're like, he's still up. Redwood is sad, but that's normal for Redwood.
Yeah.
But there is a tension in this space. For some reason. And so.
Seven just kind of looks over to Redwood and like, well, so there is like nothing out there. No birds, no rodents, no wolves, no bears, no leaves, nothing.
Why? What?
Honestly, Redwood, at this point, I think we know why to at least a grand scale.
Yes, but the blight didn't start that long ago. For there to be no signs of life, it'd have to be a while.
Jokes
I
on you. This is area 0 for the blight.
Patient 0, area 0.
I mean, we do have patient like 3 with us right now.
Yeah, Batman.
I didn't choose to be.
I guess we're surviving on rations a bit, then.
Are your rations looking
Hey.
like? If you could please remind me.
Looking.
I have 9.
I as well as 9.
Yes, because you guys got extra rations from the village Flexath before you had started your way up. So,
Yes.
you have plenty of rations, at least, to hopefully make the trip, depending on how many rests you guys need to take. Rob then looks up and goes, okay. So I am assuming that we need to get moving then. Because if there's no food, then I don't want to be hungry.
No one does. Alright. Chisel. Which direction are we going in Otter Rise?
You are asking the blind man the direction he has to
Is
take.
there markers? Is there a town name we should be looking for? Is there a specific mountain we should be looking for?
Which direction are we looking?
You yourself are looking like the way that I imagine the situation is like you sat up and you're immediately looking towards the east. I'm bad with these cardinal directions, so I couldn't.
East is right.
Yes, you are looking.
What about west?
You are looking towards the east, and but you
Go north for 2 days, west for 3, and then we climb the mountain.
5 days and then the mountain.
Yes. My family's literally at the very edge of the range. On the complete
Aye,
opposite
sounds about
side we
right.
are now.
The river did kind of push us very far downstream. We will have
Wait,
to.
Brian, if you're saying towards Hyosel, that's east.
Yeah.
You said west.
Yeah. Yes, we have to go north for 3 days, west for 2, and then up the mountain.
Fuck.
All right. But
I will lead the way.
you're gonna lead the way?
No, you will not.
Well, first,
At least until we get into the mountains proper, Thevin should lead the way.
I also think that Shrub looks to you, Redwood, and goes. She kind of like jumps onto her hind legs and kind of like pushes against your leg a little bit, and is like, "Talk to them about the thing that you told me about.
Yes, talk to us about the plan making thing.
Talk to them."
Thank you, Chisel. Well, Chisel already overheard all this in his sleep.
I was asleep.
Yeah,
Jeez,
Seven to Chisel, like to you, Chisel was in fact asleep, so you don't know where this attitude
I just
from Redwood's coming from.
Devin?
Hmm?
I guess Chisel. We need to start making proper plans of what we do when we get to towns, or when we're going to face monsters, or stop on the run rather than jumping at the first cave or window, or we need to make plans. I realize we can't plan for every single situation that could occur, but having a baseline of like huddling together, splitting up, different teams, assembling spells or area of effect. If we could all determine what we need to do together, there's going to be less incidents of you getting knocked in the mud, me beaten to death, and Chill being alone, lost, and fighting a single thing.
Does that usually happen?
Most
Yeah.
of the time, you're fighting a single thing while me and Thevin are fighting a small horde.
Or you're fighting Seven.
Oi, we can't. Whatever.
She has a point. You beat her into the ground.
It hurt a lot. I
Well,
still don't really forgive you for
Not
that.
of my own volition. Hey, I was not in the right mind. It was my decision to make.
It still hurt.
You're better, aren't you?
I'm gonna bite your ankle.
No.
Fight his other
If you
one?
do that, hey, if you do that, you're no longer getting any fish or rabbit for me. And if you do that, Chisel, you're gonna get your teeth knocked in.
Well, you didn't bring anything anyway.
That
Oh,
is
that's
true.
what you
also-
think.
You did not find squat, so like. But I think you say that to Shrub, and she gasps in offense, like full on, like, "Oh, how dare you, sir!"
It's not much of a threat for me. I still have my baby teeth.
She literally like looks to you in offense, and then proceeds to like. She like stand like. I don't know why I find this so funny. She continues like that offended like front legs position and like the sass like pushback thing.
The
and
uber sass.
the, the uber sass, and then stands on her hind legs and walks behind Redwood. Before
That's an
finally
interesting trick.
like landing on her on all fours. But
Yes, we need to do something besides panic.
or run in, like without thinking. She glares to you, Chisel, specifically, because most recently you were the one to run out first.
I cannot be blamed. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where they were.
You
It
still
also
did it.
helped if some fuzzy companions, I nudged Shrub with my foot, did what I asked and closed off the cave.
But then we've been closing everybody else off.
No one else came in until I was nearly dead. So it didn't really
Wait,
solve anything.
How about this for a plan? If we ever run into anything hostile, Chisel will go up in front of it. He's a strong boy. He can throw it around, smack it around a bit. You throw out whatever spells you think are helpful in the moment, and I'll just shoot it from a distance. I think that's the vibe we got going here.
That's not much of a plan, as that's just kind of been what we've been doing.
That's what we've been
Hey.
doing, yes.
And we're alive, aren't we?
Barely.
I almost wasn't.
I almost drowned.
And I almost died 10 times before I met you.
And so something tells me your strategies aren't that valuable.
Ah, but I'm standing.
I think Shrub looks to you and goes.
Just. You're also very much limping.
I think Shrub looks to you and goes.
Ah, it'll be fine in the week.
I think you hear like the voice of Balrune in the back of your head go, "This is the hill you wish to die on. This is the hill that you really."
Just...
But Seven, he has a point. Remember, it is not your own life that is in your hands right now.
Ah, yeah. I just think it's a waste of energy trying to think of so many different scenarios that might even come true. We'll make a plan when it faces us.
I think that's just a hint at your intelligence.
That is, I'm pretty sure, what he is saying. I think.
Sounds a lot more like he wants us to make plans now instead of wait until something happens.
No, I think he just wants us to move with a bit more caution. Shrub, not Shrub. Redwood is an anxious fellow. That much I can tell.
Oh yeah, you can get that in minute 1.
But his anxiety is not unfounded. Seven.
You're being too much of a tight ass.
Not being a tight. No, I'm being straight with you. Where we are going, into the mountains. You can sense it, I know you can.
Thrilling.
What? What did you say?
It's thrilling, as in blood, you know.
Right, okay.
At this point, everyone knows Seven is excited and a little bit of an adrenaline junkie.
Apparently stupid.
You hear Balrune sigh. Look, something up there is dangerous.
As was the chief, as was the plant monster, as were the zombies, as were the cannibals at the tree, as is the whole blight in general.
Not to this scale.
Well, we'll deal with it when we deal with it. Now let's just drop it and get moving.
Hey, Redwood.
Yes.
Why is Stefan just staring off into space?
I think
feel
I
like
asked
Devin has
something more than his single brain cell could handle.
The thing is, I don't think Devin has the mental capacity to understand speaking in mind versus speaking out loud when he's talking to Barun. So they're all just hearing Devin's half of the conversation.
Rob is it's kind of it's the way that I imagine it. It's like a three-way thing where it's like Seven, or like Redwood in the middle. Chisel is leaning into Seven, or leading into the direction of Redwood, and then Shrub is on the other side doing the same, where she's leaning the opposite way. Just kind of all a group head tilt as they all just kind of watch this happen. And Shrub goes "Is he okay?"
We've actually met the voice in his head, so I hope so.
Right, the weird.
The edgy teen.
Ah, right. That guy. What's his name again? I don't remember.
Don't care.
It's Barney.
Bronx or something like that? I don't know. I think we should really just start moving.
Run.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. And I think with that, you guys begin your journey upwards and into the mountains.
Chisel just carrying Shrub currently.
But from there, you all, I would say, mark 2 rations from your equipment.
Oh, we have music.
Yeah.
We've
I
always done.
couldn't hear it.
Knotted Rise. You are now at the foot of its very large range. It expands in an arc over the north, creating a sort of cage wall-like effect in the natural landscape around you. Tall, snow-capped mountains that clouds are parted by, like waves, like a ship parted by waves. Or ship parting the waves. That's the words I was looking for.
We don't have ships.
There is no ships yet, but it's the best descriptor I've got. They are imposing, gray. The freezing air that you feel comes down gust after gust. You just look at this place and you feel danger. Despite the fact that the entire 2 days that you've been traveling, you haven't seen anything. And Chisel, I think in this moment you can't help but wonder what your family's living conditions have been like since you left.
I really should learn how to write.
Alright. Bevan, here's one of those plans I was talking about.
I
You're going to do your thing, you're going to be in the front, and watch out for anything that starts to move. I'm going to be the back, watching the back. Chisel, you're between the two of us. Make sure you can't go make sure you can't go very far off. If we spot something, everyone sticks together and we're going to point Chisel in the direction. I will provide magical support to make sure Chisel's not going to disappear or die on us. And we'll provide covering fire from the back.
Okay.
Finn?
So I act as his herding dog.
I
You will act as his marker.
you're s- you're here. You're gonna help him see. What's yeah. You're going to be his seeing eye fox.
What's this? Did you just invent the first fucking seeing eye animal companion in Umaria?
I think so.
Logically,
Oh my god, this is how they happen.
I mean, it kind of makes sense
It
as a
does.
story point.
It does make sense, but that's still really funny to me. But you all plan this out, mentally preparing yourselves for what's to come. And there is a sense of foreboding. Unlike anything that any of you have ever seen before. The mountains themselves acting as a tall tower structure to that house perils that you have yet to see. But you press on because you have to. There are people who may need your help. There are things to be done. And your path leads you in this direction. Mark off one more ration from you guys as your ascension begins. And I'm going to need Constitution saving throws.
Oh boy. Let's go with a 0 modifier.
It makes sense for me.
Now, remind me, Casey, you have because of your cracked rib, what are your status effects?
The correct rib, I believe I have to. I can't move through. I can't do like fucking heavy marching without taking a long rest. Otherwise, I will take exhaustion effects.
Okay. So, everyone in this moment looks around at each other. This night, the higher you descend into the mountain, the colder it gets. 7, you are used to the chill that comes from living at the mountain's base, not going into the mountain. This is completely different. You're also the one without sleeves and wearing sandals. So,
Wait, he's wearing sandals?
yeah, he has been
Yeah.
wearing gladiator sandals this entire fucking time.
What?
Sorry, I misremembered the rib thing. I have to make a Constitution save after long periods of heavy travel.
To answer your question, Chisel, they don't stink after a while. We are hunting things with keen senses.
Oh, sandals can stink.
I know they can, but not as bad as, let's say, shoes.
You're not learned from Uncle Ira? His sandals stunk.
Not my experience.
So, because you guys are taking the occasional rest, you currently will not be taking levels of exhaustion, but you will be taking cold damage.
Oh boy.
D12 cold damage.
Can we hold Shrub?
No, because you also have Shrub acting as Chisel's
My
seeing.
eyes.
Yeah.
So can Chisel take half damage?
I'm also gonna say no.
I don't think Chisel's gonna take much damage anyway.
I did get
Everyone
a 50.
who got below a 10 take 12 cold
So mean.
damage.
Alright, so me. Quick maths.
Just pull out the Caligula over there.
No. I will cast Caligula into the fires where he does. I don't know, into the ocean where he's supposed to be.
We are moving on. Mark another day's worth of rations off from your equipment.
We're getting low.
As you now move through the Knotted Rise, this area of the Knotted Rise on this side of the main Coyote Range, the west side that is split by that sort of Y-shaped river on the map, is a lot less mountainous and more like rise, plateau. It is when you get to the east side of the river that things are going to become a little bit trickier. But you arrive to this sort of flatland area. It's mostly rock and gravel here, natural gravel. Old. There's occasional flat, smooth stone that's covered with ice. So, like, there's patches of it here. It's very open. There is a good arc of the cliff / plateau area that it's just a sheer drop to who knows how far down. But it gives you a very clear view of the main Coyote Range and even a little bit beyond, past the river into the Woodger Expanse. It's beautiful in the classic snow-covered winterland way. But it's cold.
Oh, that's good.
What's
Standing closer to the edge, Stefan takes like a deep breath, like, oh yeah, smell that crisp, thin mountain air.
You say you get close to the edge?
Not too close. I know that DM brain's moving.
How close to the edge do you get? Let me ask you this. Are you, like, a few feet away from that
You
drop
know
off.
what?
Redwood's
know what,
overly
let-
anxious, so he's gonna use a mage hand to grab the back of his bag.
Let's what do you think? D4 or D6? See how many feet away I'm standing from the
I would
edge.
say this
How
would
about just say how far you are?
Now let's put some luck into this. I'm a gambling man.
we're gonna go ahead and do a D4.
Okay.
Well, do you have a backup
feet.
character?
You're 2 feet
I
away.
have one in mind. Yes.
You're 2 feet away
Two in
from the
mind.
edge. Roll me a perception check, please.
22.
Ah, you are just perceptive enough to notice the large hands made from stone and ice land heavily beside you. And then another.
All right.
Boom.
Chisel. Do you know if there's giants up here?
Yes.
You didn't happen to warn us about those.
This is not a giant. You see a body made of collections of pure stone. It kind of looks humanoid in that it was clearly put together to make a human-esque shape. The joints are held together by ice and snow, crystalline frost, creating intricate patterns as a creature hoists itself up. Heavy stone footfalls. Big. Twice your size, Devin.
Precautionarily, I'm gonna cast Levitate on Chisel.
Just
Okay.
why am I not touching the ground?
Is levitate a concentration spell, or is it just a?
It is a concentration for up to 10 minutes.
Got it. Okay.
Just-
So
What happened to the ground?
Basically, I can control your vertical axis.
I see Brian's thinking as his eyes just flicker.
I'm gonna need some initiative rolls, everybody.
Oh boy.
I got modified 20.
All right.
23.
16.
Cool.
I do go on the initiative sheet this time, right?
Yes, you go on limit. Where's the computer, motherfucker?
You did it twice.
I did it twice. Delivery. All right. So, we begin.
Mhm.
Large stone golem. Shifts, and you hear the sound of the ice on its joints cracking and reforming. You hear the sound of stone grinding against stone as it stands in front of you, Devin. You are literally this close. You are literally an inch away from your nose being able to touch the belly of this monster as it releases this deafening howl.
Alright then, as Devin kind of just picks his ear and draws the bow. So I assume I'm going first, unless it got higher than a 23.
You did not get higher than a 23, so you are up first.
Yeah. I will back up. I know I'm going to take opportunity attack, but hey, let's risk it.
You will be
Uh,
taking opportunity attack.
Yep.
Alright. Remind me of your AC, my friend.
It is a 16.
He misses.
Okay, oh yeah, it misses. I almost heard you there. Alright, longbow. Oh, first, Hunter's Mark, bonus action, as I kind of leap away, evading its attack, doing that blood ritual in the air to apply the Hunter's Mark, and firing the longbow. So, that's a 17 to hit.
You fire off this arrow at it, stepping back just enough. How far away did you move? I should actually ask.
I have 35, so I probably moved a good 20 feet away.
I just wanted to be sure that's not within disadvantage range. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyways, but I had to be sure.
Well, also, I took the close quarter, like, shooting, fighting style as well.
Got it. Okay. Now, fire off the shot. It hits, but it also takes right off the stone.
Oh, yeah, I figured it's not going to do much, but hey.
So that's a total of
16.
damage. Which is impressive for an arrow against stone.
Mm-hmm.
You pull up back your arrow using the blood magic that you had infused into your bow not too long ago. Fire off a shot on this thing. It roars as it shakes against this like the stone, and you actually do see like a decent gouge on its side. But this thing is like, really? What is that gonna do to me? Which brings us to our lovely friend Chisel. It is your turn.
First, I'm going to activate my headband so I can actually see.
Okay.
And then I'm going to rush up and basically just try to push this thing down.
Okay.
Either into the hole behind it or onto the floor.
I would say this would be the equivalent of a shove attack.
Yes.
So, roll me
Strength
athletics.
check, I think.
Roll me strength or athletics, whatever you prefer.
I'll just roll strength. It was going to be a +1 to anyone.
You know what's funny? Is you got a 3, he only beat you by 2.
Hey, guess what? Action surge. I'm going to try again.
Okay.
19 this time.
You two literally slam against each other. You two are both pushing and pulling against each other. In this moment, as you okay, Seven, Redwood, you both watch as this small little gnome creature, this guy who's like not even a third of your height, charges forward and bodies himself into this golem, into this creature. And the golem is taken by surprise, but manages to hold his own. And it's kind of like watching two bulls butt heads and stay locked with each other. Like, they're pushing back and forth, which is amazing, because this thing is 5 times his size.
We did also watch him hammer swing the chief.
That is true, but the chief was smaller than than what you're currently fighting.
He was still like 3 times bigger than me.
Alright. Is that all from you, Chisel?
I can't remember if the impact thing is a bonus action or not.
You would need to make a weapon attack.
So, no, never mind. Yeah, that's it.
Is the golem's turn. The golem is going to try and push you, is going to try and, like, swing at you to push you away, Chisel. What is your AC?
15.
That's cocked. Okay. It swings and hits you. I'm going to need a con saving throw really quick.
Wow!
Oh, okay. You take You take 6 bludgeoning damage. And you take 14 cold damage.
So, minus 6, minus 14.
Right.
Not bad.
And then I'm gonna need a strength saving throw to make sure you don't go flying.
19.
Okay.
My luck is everywhere today.
Your luck is very much
Yeah.
everywhere today.
It's a nice little Christmas ribbon.
Because, for context, my athletics, the second athletics check, it was a 19 and a nat 20. My con save was a nat 1 and a 23. My strength save was a 19 and a nat 1. So it's
All
just
over
been
the place.
everywhere.
Wild card.
Wild card. All right. This golem
Cutting
is
breaks. He's
going
the
to.
wild card.
This golem is going to try and take another swing at you, Chisel. You are preventing it from trying to continue moving forward, which is good for your companions because that leaves them opportunities to try and attack it, but it's now focused on you because you are basically the wall in its way. So
I am a very tiny wall.
you are
then.
very tiny but really, really strong wall.
It's like
And-
the little pebble versus a skateboard wheel.
And it's kind of funny. I have a 13 for strength.
I'm going to need you to take 9 bludgeoning damage, and I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw.
No, it did not. Not 20.
Oh,
It just no.
that's amazing. Okay, you take no cold damage because of that nat 20. But you do get hit. I will need a strength another strength save as well.
Okay, hold on. Strength check, strength save.
Save.
Saves. Like I said, it's been everywhere.
Hey, but at least your luck is like really there where it matters. You get tossed. Basically what ends up happening is it's kind of like a pendulum swing where it brings one arm down, smacks you, and then the other arm comes down, smacks you, and actually manages to push you away. And it pushes you a good like 15 feet away from it as it begins to move again. We are now onto redwood with shrub.
You can also control my movement with levitate.
I can control your vertical movement, but that takes an action.
Then don't do that.
I'm just keeping you on the same axis. That way, if you go over the cliff, you're on the same axis.
That's
I love that.
That's a good idea, actually.
Cartoon style, so long as you don't look down, nothing will happen to you.
Except he can look down. Yeah, that was the intention. I'm like, Chisel's gonna blind to trip off the side of the cliff. Let's make sure he doesn't fall. Alright, so I'm going to use Primal Savagery. I get to, well, I'm going to run up on this thing and cast that spell, which allows me to just try and attack it.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos to get advantage.
Yep.
19 to hit.
19 to hit. That will hit.
Alright. And that becomes 2d10 acid damage.
Now I'm going to need that wild magic roll.
And because I use Tides of Chaos, it's just fucking... Well, is it active when I do this?
Or is it only when you try?
Anytime before you regain the use of this feature.
Which we had a long rest that you would have regained the use of the features. You don't have to right now.
No, I regain the usage every time
It
the wild
fails.
magic... Every time the wild magic hits.
I thought you could also choose to get wild magic or to regain.
That's what it is. Basically, it acts as a bubble and a shield, so as soon as I pop that and wild magic hits, I regain it.
Oh, okay.
13.
Set your fireball on yourself.
What is 13?
Not fireball.
Oh no.
Potted plant?
Confusion.
Oh.
You now have confusion on yourself, so could you please describe confusion for our lovely audience?
Don't we have to make a save on
The spell assaults and twists creatures' minds, spawning delusions, provoking uncontrolled actions. Each creature with a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range must succeed a wisdom save or be affected.
So the golem
And
has
it
to make a wisdom
chooses
save.
what you do on your turn. The golem has to make a wisdom save, but so do me and Chisel.
Actually, I was pushed back 15.
Chisel is
So
pushed-
only you
only you. Shrub would
and the golem.
You and the golem are the only ones. Shrub wouldn't have moved with you because she follows your commands.
I'll take that. Wisdom. Oh wait, I'm using a digital.
Oh, so
character
you-
sheet. I click wisdom.
Don't you have advantage against being charmed? Which isn't confusion and charm?
That's a good question.
That
You're
is
an
a very
elf,
good
you
question.
have advantage.
I think.
So 26.
Okay. That's definitely past your spell save DC, but I'm going to need it for the golem.
My spell save DC is 16.
It's gonna be funny if he just walks backwards 5 feet and
18.
falls.
18 minus 2, it still succeeds on the save.
What's great is the behavior on a D10 uses all its movement to move in a random direction.
So, neither you or the golem are affected by this confusion spell.
Great, so that pops and I regain the usage and I get that attack through with that nice little 18 acid damage.
You like, basically what ends up happening is, can you describe, like, the action you take to attack it with this acid damage?
What Primal Savagery does is it basically creates a green blade along the tips of my fingers, but I assume since because of who I am, it's green flame blade. It creates this green flaming blade along my fingers, and I rush forward, and I sort of stab at the golem, acid allowing me to push a little bit farther. And with that getting almost max damage, I feel like I get almost an arm's length, and I pull back.
You
And I'm going to use...
Oh, is that it for you? Or is there something
yeah,
else?
that's the description. I was going to describe bonus action.
Oh, great, okay.
And I'm using the bonus action to have Shrub ignite behind me.
Coolest scene I think I can ever imagine seeing in this campaign right now. Redwood had a moment not too long before this where he was on death's door. He talked to basically his goddess, was told, you need to start rethinking how you see things. And I think in this moment, that conversation that you had with her and the conversation you had with Shrub clicks. Something in your brain just is like, I gotta stop being afraid. And you, for the first time, with a large threat looming right in front of you, charge forward towards the threat to attack it directly. Your blade of green acidic magic summons into your hand. I wouldn't say it necessarily looks like a blade, but like a massive bear's claw. And you jam your fist into this creature's chest, creating a decent-sized hole that you just push your way in through. And I think you also see, when you pull back, roll me a perception check.
Also, it doesn't say it forms a blade. It's basically just, it causes your teeth and fingernails to sharpen.
Oh, so Bear Claw works. 14 perception.
You see, since you're so close to it, as you're beginning to like pull your hand away, as it like lifts its arm up to bat you away from it, you see something shiny peeking out from deep within its chest cavity that emanates something that you are very familiar with at this point. But
Arcane.
we're going to move on from that. As
Shrub has
been
Shrub has
ignited,
stuff.
and Shrub has stuff.
Yep. You're just gonna get a basic flame seed off a Shrub. Don't miss, baby. 23.
23! Shrub don't miss.
Shrub don't miss.
Shrub don't miss. You.
I think she's missed before.
She's missed
No,
before,
you
but
shut
we're
up.
gonna ignore that. Shrub charges. Shrub, as you're running, Shrub like jumps and ignites. Now, please go ahead and tell me what Shrub does in the spell.
Um, I'm not gonna have Shrub climb on the golems. We're not being that. It's cinematic, but it's stupid. I think Shrub is keeping a fair distance, and as she ignites with that small wave of fire, she pushes some of that forward to start trying to attack the golem on the other side, trying to work with my movements to knock this thing off.
Well, poor fire damage is not gonna do it, but you do make it.
I know.
You basically Shrub hits this thing, punches it, and creates just a decent scorch mark on its chest. But some of the ice holding it does begin to melt. So that portion of it is not impervious. We're gonna move on. I'm assuming that's the end of Shrub's turn.
That's both of us, yes.
Okay, moving back to the top of the round. 7.
Yee.
Give me
So
your...
seeing the wound.
Seeing the wound? I don't think... Would Redwood... Really quick, would Redwood have pointed it out to anybody of what he saw? Because
I
I
don't
don't know
so,
if he
within 6
recognizes
seconds.
that as a weakness.
Okay.
And it's only been 6 seconds. I don't think he would have time.
Okay. So I don't think...
Well, I think
Seven, I don't
I
think
think
you would
Seven.
I don't think you would have spotted it. Due to your angle...
Oh, let me defend myself here. Explain myself. I'm pretty sure Seven within 6 seconds can see Redwood pierce through its body and just kind of come out. Because Casey did say a good
That
distance.
wound.
Yeah. So at the very least, Seven thinking like a hunter. This is a beast with a hard shell. Redwood just pierced the shell. Hit the wound. At least that's what he's going to be aiming for.
You're aiming for the hole as big as my forearm.
Yee.
Good luck.
Once again, shooting for holes that should not have things put in them.
Zeus!
Yes.
Hello?
Let's do
Scrub.
it.
Scrub.
20...
That's a 26 to hit.
I need to curse your weapon.
Too bad. It's just a normal musical bow that I...
If you
Thing
roll
with-
over 25, you take half damage.
No. Anywho, Hunter's Mark, Favorite Enemy, Colossus Slayer, and Hemocraft. That's a lot of ones.
That is 21 damage.
Cool.
21 damage, you fire straight into this thing's chest, in the hole that you had... Actually, we said nat 20s are only specific for...
20s are called shots.
Are called shots. So, you do hit it, but not where you had originally intended.
Close! But no cigar.
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
Next up. Is that the end of your turn, Seven?
Yeah, I don't really have anything else for a bonus action right now.
Alright. Chisel, you're up.
Okay. Seeing that I am 15 feet away, I am going to actually rush up and basically try to cave its knees in.
It's a golem. You can literally take his kneecaps.
Taking his kneecap.
Oh my god.
Removing kneecaps!
Removing kneecap
20.
with a natural 20 on a called shot. You hit his kneecaps. Please go ahead and roll me that damage.
That's 20 damage. I have an extra attack. Or should I do impact and see if he falls prone? Let's do impact and see if he falls prone. He has to roll a dex save.
DC for the next save?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it would be.
It should have told you.
I think it's 8 plus your strength modifier.
And then plus proficiency, so hold on. 12. Which is not bad for a non-caster.
Unfortunately, the golem does meet your DC. So,
Okay.
You swing.
He still takes
You still
this
do
damage.
Yeah. Okay. So now the ground in front of it is rough terrain. Having movement for not only yourself, unfortunately, but for people in the area. I do have to ask, Redwood, did you stay close to the golem?
Yes.
I'm going to need you to roll me that dexterity save then.
I'm gonna give myself advantage.
Okay.
Dex save. 21.
Okay, and then I'm gonna need that wild magic roll.
That's only if I cast a spell.
Oh, only if you cast a spell? Okay. Then...
Yep.
Got it. So, with a 21, you manage to successfully... You actually jump really high. Like, there's a moment in you where you're like, oh shit! And you, like, spring backwards like a cat. You land far away from the cone of stone that suddenly cracks and breaks and shoots up from different directions underneath you guys. You actually all feel in the impact, because I'm going to say that nat 20 also affects the impact of the hit. You all feel the ground shake beneath you. Like you literally are just like, whoa. You have to like take a second to like gather your balance and things. You actually see in the distance an avalanche from the mountain far away from where you guys are just falls from the impact. Chisel is a strong boy, and he's not going down without a fight here.
And I also have an extra attack. Because that uses my bonus action.
Jesus Christ.
Whack his knees!
What?
Whack his knees!
Took out the left, now we're taking out
Whack.
the right!
So that, in total, is 32 damage. No. 29 damage.
You take out its legs. And so basically kind of in the similar anatomy structure of a human. It's like really uneven, obviously, because no stone, it looks the same. No stone is shaped the same unless done so purposefully.
And it cannot go back to the same shape.
Correct. There is like a stack of like, because of the way that the stone is lopsided on like the hip and on the waist, it's like 3 and 2 for the legs to kind of keep that sort of flat stride and balance. On the 2 leg, you just take out the middle stone and do the same thing on like the 3 leg, on the 3 stone leg. You basically just take its legs out and it falls onto its waist. And it just kind of looks around before looking at you.
Pick on someone your own size.
Which is hilarious, because you are tiny as shit.
I am 4 foot even, and I am still classified as small.
You get down to his, so he can fight him properly.
He needs
Get down here, fight me like a man.
He needs to shrink. Oh god, Jared.
And
your
Jared
internet.
is rubber banding.
Jared, your internet.
And
Oh, there you are, you're good.
It's
Okay.
internet, nothing to do about it.
Fair.
thankfully, probably after this, we'll be done for today.
You take these 2 hefty swings. What's that Japanese game where you take a mallet and you swing it and like it smacks a disc out from a tower? That's what I'm thinking of. So like you smack the one kneecap out, and in doing so, in turn hit the kneecap of the other leg and just create like a foom effect. Shoots both discs of stone out, causing it to land on its waist, but it is still very much active, as it is still has movability of its arms, even though it can't go anywhere.
It can no longer use its movement.
It no longer has any movement. Very clever. Now,
Daruma Otoshi.
what is because of Redwood's dex save on a 21. What is the range of the cone that he would have had to have jumped away from? Because that will determine...
10 feet.
10 feet? Okay.
It's 10 feet around me.
Excellent. 10 feet around you. You once again are pissing it off. You are acting as the shield and main focal point for this creature for your companions. As he is right in front of you, he's going to take another hefty swing.
How much damage do I take this time? Because apparently it keeps hitting me.
Well,
I might miss.
your AC is a 15.
Yes.
It gets exactly 15 on this.
Yeah.
You take 5 bludgeoning, and then I'm gonna need a con save.
When I get serious, I lock in.
We take 2 cold damage from this. It rolled a 5, and because you succeeded, you only took half. But if you get an
Cool.
20,
I am now at
take it.
half HP.
And I think with that swing, it basically, I'm gonna need a strength save just to see if you get pushed back.
No.
And I think it swings at you, and straight after it swings at you, it's gonna try and strike Redwood because you were the only one within its range.
Okay.
Is your AC 16, right?
I thought it was 17.
It is a 16, but I'm gonna cast a shield.
Which gives you a +5, right?
+5, so 21.
It gets just a 21 with an 18 on the die. Why are you looking at me like that?
Thank you.
Take 4 bludgeoning, and then I'm gonna need a con save.
Do you want me to make the wild magic roll?
No.
Okay.
He used magic though. At over a
It is
level 1.
DM discretion. Okay, so I take how much damage and make a con save?
Take 4 bludgeoning, and then I'm gonna need a con save.
I no longer float.
You take 7 cold damage, and then I'm gonna need another con save in order to keep concentration on that spell.
I'm sorry, Brian. Oh, never mind.
I still
Never mind, we good.
You're still
We good, we good.
So it swings at you, Trickle, and then in its ability... So, like, basically what's ended up happening is, even though it can't move from its spot, it's spinning its body in place in order to, like, swing itself around. Kind of like a fucky wipeout course obstacle. As it swings at you, Chisel, and then proceeds to then swing at you, Redwood. That is the end of its turn. I'm going to need... It is now Redwood's turn, actually, if I'm pretty sure.
Can you push him off with like Thunder Wave or something? Because he can't make that deck save.
Yeah, he would auto-fail it.
I don't have Thunder Wave. I do quickly shout out, don't knock it off, there's something in it. And looking at spells, I can't cast anything of a concentration. I don't want to knock it off still. So I'm going to cast another Primal Savagery.
Okay.
Just keep stabbing.
After you cast the spell, I will need a wild magic table.
Hold on.
Primal's a cantrip.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to actually do the spell. I think it's there for a minute.
Is it?
No, sorry.
Duration instant.
Right, and
Yeah,
also cantrips don't apply to wild magic rolls. Okay. Go ahead and...
It's the safest card. 25 to hit.
Holy shit, everybody. Okay.
Was this supposed to be a difficult one?
I expected it to be a little bit harder than it currently is.
I I could safely say that was my fault with it. 2 nat 20s in a row.
Hey, honestly,
Nah, don't be
Destiny.
ashamed of that.
Hell yeah.
8 acid damage.
And that's 8 acid.
So I think what ends up happening is when you announce this to your companions, you shove your hand back into that hole that you had made, since it's now stationary, and simply just kind of like push your way in to try and grab it, but you don't get as far as you would like. Anything else?
How's people looking on health?
I am half health.
I'm doing good for now.
7 has.
I am half health and still have my second wind.
Okay. So then I'm gonna cast a 3rd level healing word. I accidentally threw something. I'm gonna cast a 3rd level healing word back at Chisel. Basically part of the same thing. It's like, don't knock it off. I can get it. Take care of yourself.
Okay, and then I'm assuming now is a good like.
Now you can call it.
Hold it.
There you go, Brian. 10 healing. I just want to see what else I can pull out of this.
Wait,
magic
isn't
bag of
that
hacks.
levitation again?
No, that was 45 last time. But what's 35?
Roll a d10. Your age changes by a number of years equal to the roll. If it's odd, you get younger. If it's even, you get older. 9. Odd.
Get
Younger.
How many years do you grow younger?
Does it give you a
9.
It gives-
9 years?
He gets got
Almost
9.
a decade.
He gets,
I'm 18!
which makes you basically the
What's...
equivalent of a toddler in elf years.
Wait. He doesn't say how long this lasts. I think that's a permanent.
It is permanent.
is.
I also think it doesn't change anything except for story-wise. You have another 10 years to live.
It would be an issue if you guys were actively going to taverns and like drinking, but since you're not, 'cause
There's
they
no
don't exist-
so there's no
Well, there's
point.
Redwood stabs in, the magic wraps around him, and he starts to get a little bit smaller.
Shrub just looks at you
What?
and is like, I also think your voice isn't as deep anymore.
It cracks.
Okay, I don't have the range to do that.
I think Shrub looks to you and goes, Boss?
Shrub?
Why did you get smaller?
I don't know! Just keep fighting!
Okay. Like Shrub is actively
There's
flamed
no.
and like burning.
Is there
and stuff.
really a way for
It's a
you?
natural one!
I'm pretty sure it's permanent.
Yeah, but is there actually a way for him to know how young he is?
No.
I just know I'm
Yes.
suddenly younger.
All right, that's a natural one. I'm going to need you to roll damage, and 7. That is how much damage you are going to take at this moment.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
7 fire damage.
7.
Not bad.
Last time she rolled 4 damage, and when it gets me, it's 7.
She did
Yes,
say she was gonna bite you.
She did say he was going to
But
attack you.
thankfully, it wasn't enough to knock you down, so you can take it.
True.
This is also
And I
your
regained
first
I regained my Tides of Chaos.
This is also your first hit of like from in
This
combat,
encounter.
right? This encounter. So I think you'll be.
I
fine.
did take damage from the environment.
That doesn't really count.
No, that's still
It's health
important.
lost.
It's health loss. All right. Is that all from Redwood, the teenager, and Shrub?
Oh, don't
Yeah.
become a broody teenager.
He was
It
brooding.
doesn't say your mentality changes, you just physically decrease in age.
Yeah. So, 7. You're up.
So, question: how unbalanced does the golem look right now?
It is basically sitting on its waist.
It is on its waist, and the thing about the golem is like, it's the where the waist is it's like uneven, so it's kind of like angled, like slightly sloped on that end, and you could tell because it had an uneven number of stones working as its legs when Chisel knocked them out. So what's
Okay.
happening is when it moves to attack, it's forcing its weight onto that like peak of the slope and spinning.
Mm-hmm. So the reason why I ask is because I'm thinking using my familial bond boom and imbuing an arrow with either force or thunder damage in order to give a nice little oomph to knock it over the edge.
We want to see what's in it, so no.
Oh,
Redwood
then
did.
fine,
in
I'll just
fact-
shoot it.
Redwood
Yeah,
literally said, "Don't push it off. I can get it."
Yeah, Redwood did in fact shout that in a request. So
All right, fine. Then shoot it for the same spot I shot for last time. Nah, nat 20 will still hit.
it's still pretty good hit. 8 damage for a 26 hit.
Wait. Actually, with the piercer feat, I'll re-roll that damage on that die.
Still a
It
hit.
Same
doesn't
thing.
matter.
All right. Hunter's Mark, favorite
Fine.
foe, Colossus, and Hemo.
Oh God. That's 9,
11, 12.
13, 21, 25.
25 damage to the golem with another fabulously aimed arrow. I think at this point, like, you're just like, all right, I can't, push it back, but I can still hit it. So I think because it's stationed, you're just like, you know what? Let's hit the head and see what happens. And you fire
Yeah.
the head, and it just kind of like you actually see the head.
It's-
The head isn't as big as the rest of the torso. So what ends up happening is the head slides backwards onto its back and then climbs back up onto like the top
That's
of the
cool.
torso.
Then it kind of looks like, oh, well, that's what that will happen. Let's see what happens
That's how
next.
that happens.
As he readies his another arrow, but it's then my turn, so.
Right. All right. Now
You
we
don't
are.
have an extra attack?
He does not get an extra attack.
No, because I'm multi-classed.
Oh, right.
And you're broken anyway.
Yeah, you are also broken. So,
My turn.
Chisel, it is your turn.
I'm gonna try to cave its chest in this time.
Okay.
19.
Aw, I was so hoping for that to be.
I was
another
really
20.
hoping for another nat 20.
All right.
But on the first hit, that is 7.
Okay.
I'm going to swing again. That is a 19 again, because Redwood is next to me.
That is true.
That is 15 damage in total. I'm going to pop my second wind.
Okay.
Which is how much HP? I don't have that written down. 10 plus fighter level.
So
Which
six-
is
16
6. A D10 plus fighter level.
Oh, a D10 plus fighter level. Okay. Well, while you're sorting your health out, we're gonna go ahead and jump to the golem's turn.
And everyone else heals 6.
Neat.
So, the golem is like swinging. It is badly like damaged. It won't take much more for this thing to go down. But in the moment right now, it is still swinging. It is still attacking, and I think that's the main concern here. So, Chisel and Redwood, both of you. Hits you, Chisel, and does not hit Redwood.
I have to make a con save and a strength save, correct?
Yes.
Con,
Nice.
strength.
Yes. Okay. You take 1 cold damage, 6 bludgeoning.
Oh
and
wow,
then-
I'm back to before.
And now you are also you are thrown back at this point. Like it does once again. Like you get up to it, you take a couple of hefty swings, and then it's just like you are the annoying fly that does not leave the face alone. So
That
he,
does not die.
so he just like I think at this point it's like a hey bada swing, ow, and you get knocked backwards. Team Rocket blasting off again. It's like a little twinkle in the sky. Anyways, that is the golem's turn. Redwood, you're up.
All right. I think I'm going to repeat actions from last time because it's working, and dear God, Chisel needs health.
I
Just
am actually fine with health. I'm at 45 out of 71.
Okay. So, I think Redwood is kind of embracing what everyone's been fucking telling him. Just stop being afraid of it. I think Redwood's internalizing that. He called himself the monster. By God, he's gonna fucking take it.
Okay, Odysseus, relax.
And 27. It's working, okay?
27 does hit. Go ahead, roll me your damage.
Jesus.
Redwood is just straight up trying to reach into the golem.
Yeah.
How do you want to do this?
How do you want to do this?
So I think the last 2 turns, Redwood had put these grasp holds into it with his hands. And with the extra green fire, just sort of puts both hands in. I think he's going to try and rip it apart to get to the center.
Okay, Kratos.
You shove your hands into this hole that you had already created, continuously, over and over again. Slam one hand onto the inner wall, grab the edge of the other, and just pull with a strength that you didn't realize you had before. And I think what everyone else sees in this moment is that the primal savagery that takes place expands over the entirety of Redwood's body and takes the form of a large wolf.
Bear.
Not a bear, but a wolf.
Okay.
A wolf that, for you would recognize in its shape and its size, but the others don't, but it's very clearly profound and significant as you tear this thing in two, basically turning it into a geode. And that is the end of combat.
Evan just kind of looks over at Chisel and like, at least I have a curse to blame for why I'm a monster.
I think Redwood, like, still covered a little bit in this energy, reaches into and grabs the core that has magic, and it's like, I found something.
Yeah, you did, lad.
That's
Aye, you
awesome.
did.
Oh,
Also, he doesn't really get an excuse either. He is basically a god's chosen. You have a curse, he's a god's chosen, and I'm just a man.
I don't know about the gold chosen thing. What?
what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Chisel,
Have both of you never noticed?
Chisel, okay, so guys, upon Chisel's speaking, I'm gonna need you two to roll me wisdom checks.
Me too?
No, you don't have to. Because
You
that,
said the
14.
profound thing.
you said it. You don't have to. You don't have to. Okay, Seven, you're just like, what? Redwood, you think back to your conversation with Ithis after the troll fight. And you
It
remember.
also makes sense because I was awake during the conversation with Shrub.
Yeah, you
So I know!
you think
You
back.
accidentally did a thing.
You think back to that conversation with Ithis after you were rendered unconscious with the troll, and you think there's something in what Chisel says that's really impactful. And then you remember one of the words that Ithis had spoken in terms of reference to you. That word, champion. And that's when the pieces fall into place.
I think Redwood now notices the primal wolf form that sort of surrounded him.
Also, it looks weird when a wolf is standing on 2 legs.
It's more like kind of
It's
like
weird to be the wolf.
It's more like the kind of like the torso has like the form of a wolf, and I think when you notice it, that's when it starts to fade a little bit before fully going away, and you're just like, but
It's weird being on the other side of this.
At least I'm in control of myself.
Didn't look like it, lad.
but
I wanted the thing.
you push forward by your desire to discover something new that you have yet to see. You also learn more about yourself in these mountains. As Ithis chosen. That is where we will end this episode today of Chronicles of Umaria. Chapter 1, Shadow Falls, episode 14. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.